Good day, good day. I'm Dr. Alain Desonnier, founder of Breakthrough Coaching and Training here at Tribe X. And I just had something I just really want to share with you. Really cool story. I think it's really cool, anyways. So last night, I was sitting down watching an episode of this documentary called Song Exploder. Great documentary if you number one, love music, number two, love documentaries, and love a cool story. Here's what's really cool about it is that it like brought me back instantly. Like it brought me back to this time when I was like 13, and it was about this song. And I remember I'm watching this documentary and remember going down this set of stairs. This is like 1991, so like late winter, early spring 1991. I don't remember the exact date. I don't exactly remember where I was. I remember I was at somebody's party, so it must have been like a friend's birthday party or something like that. And I remember walking down the stairs into the basement of my friend's place and just hearing this really cool song that I'd never heard before. And I remember that moment going like, oh, this is so cool. And being that I was 13, I think I was really getting into, I was like starting to get like my taste and like my thing for what I love for music that kind of really shaped a lot of, who I am today, what I love today. And just remember this mandolin part playing on this song, and it was like, and his voice was like, whoa, like just this really interesting voice and like this cool mandolin part. And it ended up being a song called Losing My Religion by REM, which is still today is one of my top favorite bands. Like I don't listen to them that often anymore. There's so much music, but every time they come on, there's just always like I have this connection, this just really emotional connection to it. And so the song was about, so this documentary was about the making of these like legendary songs that we all know, and like the meaning behind them, how they became created. And it was so fascinating that, so Losing My Religion, the whole, I guess that whole album that REM put out in the winter of 1991 really took them from like a decently, like they were kind of well known to like they were known all over the world, like overnight. And they had been recording music for almost a decade, maybe even more than a decade at that point. And they just wanted to make a shift. And so they created an album that was different than the others that they had made. And here they were. They come out with Losing My Religion, and there was the song that none of them thought that was going to go anywhere. It wasn't going to be a single. It was just something that they enjoyed. There's something that they loved, so they made it, and it catapulted them to like super like crazy popular. And one of the things that caught my eye, or that caught my attention when I was watching this documentary, was they're talking to Michael Stipe, who's the singer of REM, who has such a unique voice, and is such like the lyrics that he writes are just always so thoughtful and so thought through and just amazing. So they're looking through, or they're talking about this song, and they play him, the document, there is the documentarian, the producer of the documentary, played him a part of the demo of the song, and they played just the track of just his vocals. And when they played the track of the vocals, you hear the music come on, or his voice start, and you're looking at his face. There's a close up of his face, and he just cringes. He's like, oh, and then he says after, he's like, it's just so hard to hear. It's so hard to hear, and it was so fascinating. I was just blown away. So here's this song that has sold, the single has sold millions of copies. The album sold millions of copies. It made them, the band, like it made them world famous. It just made them, they put them on the spot. And it was like that song. And he still listens to it today in 2019 or 2020, whenever that documentary was made. He listens to it today and just still cringes. He's still a bit embarrassed by it. He still wishes that he could do it a little bit different. I thought that was so fascinating. Like, how many times do we go around, in our normal lives and think that, oh, like I have this thing that I love. I want to create something. I want to say something. I want to have a message in my heart that I want to get out, but it's not quite perfect. I want to create this little studio here, but the lighting isn't quite right. And so I don't, oh, I lost me. I'm back. So shit like this happens, and you're like, fuck, like, oh man, I wanted to do something, but like the text sucks, and da da da, and so I'm not going to do it. And so we stop ourselves from creating the thing that is in our heart. And the difference was for someone like Michael Stipe and the people in REM is that what was bigger than the doubt that they had and the thing that they were creating was their want, their desire, their need to create and to get it out. Their desire to create something of significance, to be heard, to change something in themselves and in other people. And so they made it, and then they got it out. And here we are today. Millions and millions, billions of people likely have heard that song and love that song because they didn't wait. Michael Stipe didn't wait until he was just totally happy with his lyrics. He wasn't totally happy with his singing. It was like, we're going to do it. And he did it. And then they tweaked it and they continued creating. They made something else. They made something else. They made something else. They made something else. And so how many times do you and I go through life going, shit, it's not perfect yet, so I'm not going to do anything? And have you considered that by stopping yourself from creating, by stopping yourself from putting out that message that is on your heart, by stopping yourself from really embodying who you are and living in the truth of who you are, that you are really robbing the world of something beautiful? Imagine had Michael Stipe listened to his own lyrics and listened to his own voice and go, oh, gross. We're never putting that out. And they never put it out. We may not know who REM is today. They may not have lived the life that they have lived. Who knows? Who knows? But by doing it, by putting it out, we know who they are. And by putting out what is in your heart, by living out who you are, people will know who you are. People will hear your message. People will resonate with your message. It will change people. It will light people on fire. So just start. Nowadays, we literally have leveled the playing field with our ability to create and connect with other people and engage. All it takes is like a thing like this, right? Those little things on the back here can transmit your message, can transmit what is in your heart to the rest of the world. If you've seen anything in talk shows or late night talk shows or things that have been, on like major networks over 2020, since people have been quarantined and stuff like that, is you've got people who are on their laptops, like major stars on their laptops, and it looks like shit, right? And there's no production value in it. But we tune in because we're just engaged with the people. We want to hear the story. And with just a little bit of tweaking, a little bit of effort, we can put what's on here out to the world and make it look awesome and make it sound awesome. But don't wait till it's perfect. Just start. Like just watching that documentary brought me back to when I was 13 years old. I just remember hearing that. And that song helped form who I am today. It changed me at that moment. It was so beautiful. It still is beautiful. And so I encourage you, whatever message you have, just start. Just share. Whatever, whoever, whenever. And you'll find, likely, I'd have you consider that likely you won't die. That people won't hate you. That it won't be as bad as you thought. And if it is, then let that be the motivation. Let that be the fire to drive you to do it better next time. So my challenge to you is pick this thing up. Look into it. And share who you are. The world needs who you are. The world needs the song that's inside of you. Do not let yourself go through life and die with your song left still inside you. I'm Dr. Alain Desaulniers, founder of Tribe X. Breakthrough Coaching and Training. Have an awesome day. I love you, and we'll see you next time.